Hello everyone, and thanks for tuning into The Medium by Design. Today's message has a little story to it, and it's very lovely. And on my page, some of you might get confused because I do spirit messages from different levels. I do the high beings, the ETs, I do the Jesus, the Mother Mary, and that whole crowd. And then I also do regular people, and I also do famous people. I do all kinds of people. And my daily life is very different. My daily reality is very different from most of you. I do a lot of different things with people in the real world and have spiritual experiences almost everywhere I go. So I go to a water store to buy my water. And I know the owners, they're Mormons, and I'm very close with that family. They're lovely people. And they totally believe that I have a connection to Jesus and all these other beings. And it's just wonderful that I can meet people almost anywhere I go, and they understand the energy and connection that I carry. So in this water store, they had given a part-time job to this man. He was about 75 years old. He was a Scorpio, and he had a very, very rough life. And I would stay there. This happens often when I go on an errand. I often stay in the establishment and have a conversation, a higher level conversation. This happens very often, and it often leads to just amazing discoveries and things happen. So I used to hang out and talk to Lloyd. His name was Lloyd. And I used to hang out and talk to him. And he was on my mailing list, my email list, but he didn't have the money to come to any groups. Not that they're expensive, but he definitely was living very low level financially. So I used to stay there and we had these conversations. So I was the last one to see him before he died. That's another thing that does happen to me. I do connect with souls, just before they're going to pass. Now that could be, I'm not always the last person to see them. It could be that last day they're alive, or it could be a week or so before they pass. So that's another reality that I live that many people may not relate to. So this is what Lloyd had to say. Well, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Maybe a little disorienting at first. So he's talking about his passing. I had a bit, for your information, he died in his sleep. So he had a very nice passing. I had a bit of confusion because I wasn't sure right away, but that didn't last. I was shown a lot, and many people seemed to show themselves to me. People I recognized, some I knew very well earlier in my life. It was actually cool at one point. I felt really at peace, welcomed, and most of all, loved. I was a pretty deep guy and had some outrageous life experiences. I definitely did not always feel loved. As a matter of fact, I would say I didn't feel love for a very long time. I seemed to be going through the motions and stuck in a weakened state as my health and body had other plans. I loved doing things with my hands, but that last bathroom job almost killed me. I knew I had to stop. That was one of the steps that led me to leaving. Realizing I would not be able to do much for the rest of my life was not something I wanted to face. I was tired. My body was worn out, and I realized there was no restart, rejuvenation miracle, or drug that would allow me to go on much longer. Sometimes it is what it is, and there isn't anything to do. I think that's why I died in my sleep. I had no interest in being in a hospital and people trying to save me. This is very interesting. That was the last thing I wanted. Granted, maybe being around some caring people would have been nice, but now I know that it was totally unnecessary. You, my friend, have got a lot going on. I loved you staying in the store a little longer to share some thoughts. Those talks really helped me to accept my circumstances and in some cases change some things. You do have a way with words that cut deep and stimulates thought. I definitely benefited from meeting you. I would have loved to join some of your groups, but as you know, money was very prohibitive to doing such things. It's okay. I got a piece of you without costing me anything." And he was laughing hysterically with that. "Isn't that what you say about Scorpios? They always have their hands in somebody's pockets." I wish that was true for me. Money definitely did not find its way to me, especially after 50. I noticed circumstances seemingly get harder and harder. Living to survive did become a way of life, and boy, was that draining. You talk about how energy can drain us if we stay in the wrong situations or with the wrong people. Boy, I wish I had known that when I was 30. I would have saved myself a lot of grief. I need to share a little bit more with you about you. I have new eyes and get to see so many things much clearer now. I realize that someone like you is not a commodity, but a necessary part of people's lives. You are so willing to talk to people and touch them deeply. I don't believe you have a clue how far-reaching this goes and can go. This is why Freddie Mercury took some time to explain your work to you. It wasn't just to support you to keep going, but to remind you of what you are actually doing. So if you can watch the video, a couple of videos back, I did the Freddie Mercury one, and he does get very personal. Being yourself is often taken for granted because life keeps moving and you just do whatever comes up and then move on to another experience, another person, another group. However, what is happening in those moments is truly an alchemy of energy changing the fabric of one's mind and therefore has the potential to change their existence, their reality. Don't be too harsh with the people you witness talking online and sharing in their way. Even they can touch profoundly, even if they are not going deep enough or believe they have the answer. They have the answers all through the mind. And you know, I talk about the difference between the mind and the spirit. And, you know, some people have to work through the mind to get the answers, and I don't usually do that. It's all about the spirit. So he's trying to help me loosen up any judgments I have about how people are presenting and stop comparing. That's a big problem I've had in recent years. I wasn't always like that, but recently I've done a little bit of that comparing, and we're not supposed to do that. You know better and go at things from an entirely different angle, but that is your way. Many cannot see things through your lens. It takes a bit of a twist of someone's perception to get the depth of what you are doing. They are coming. Don't be disillusioned. You remain on the right train, going in the right direction, on the sturdiest of track. Don't doubt. Keep going, one foot in front of the other. I'll be around. Maybe I can still learn a few things. Then I can give you my findings from here. So he's very lighthearted. And he was lighthearted for a Scorpio. He really was. He was a deep guy, but his communication skills were much more lighthearted. And we did have some wonderful exchanges in that store. And I share these things. As you see on my channel, there are different levels of spirit. And I have to just do what's in front of me and receive what is coming in the moment and whoever it might be coming from. So I hope this touches you. I hope you realize that you can have a spiritual exchange with anybody, anywhere you go, especially if it's divinely guided and you're not pushing to try to do anything, which I never do. I just go out and take what's given to me wherever I go. So thank you for watching The Medium by Design. And as I try to end every time, as long as I'm breathing, there is more to come and I will continue to share. Thanks so much.